two watches side by side. They share the same waterproof shell, the same screw-down crown, and the same visionary founder. But the name on the dial is different.
Welcome back to Crown Patina, where every watch has a story, and this one is about the most famous sibling rivalry in watchmaking.
For decades, watch enthusiasts whispered that this brand was a quiet compromise, a cheaper alternative pushed out the back door for buyers who couldn't swing the price of the crown. Looking at the brand's history, it's easy to see why people believed that myth. Because in 1996, right at the height of the mall retail era, this watch abruptly vanished. It was pulled entirely from the United States market. For the next 17 years, if you walked into an American watch shop looking for a brand new model, you were out of luck. They simply were not there. To understand why the brand vanished in the 90s, we have to look at its origin. Because Rolex's founder never intended to hide Tudor, he built it to make the lauded statement possible. Back in the 1920s and 30s, Hans Wilsdorf faced a specific business problem. Rolex had built a massive reputation for its waterproof oyster cases and self-winding rotors, but that precision came with a high price tag. Wilsdorf wanted to capture the middle market buyer without cheapening his main luxury brand. His solution was a brilliant piece of business logic. This diagram shows the core of his strategy. He took the indestructible exterior armor of a Rolex, the waterproof case and the self-winding rotor, and paired it with an affordable third-party internal engine. Instead of using expensive in-house Rolex mechanics, Tudor sourced dependable movement blanks from outside Swiss suppliers, like the Fabrique d'Ebauche de Fleurier. Buying the internal gears elsewhere kept the retail price firmly within reach. Today, people assume Rolex wanted to keep this relationship quiet. But when Wilsdorf launched the Tudor Oyster Prince in 1952, he took a highly public approach. He personally appeared in the advertising campaigns. He proudly announced to the public that his new Tudor watch was receiving two features previously exclusive to Rolex, the waterproof oyster case and the perpetual self-winding system. Rather than hiding the connection, Wilsdorf actively used Rolex's pristine reputation to sell the cheaper alternative. The Oyster Prince was a highly strategic asset from day one. Still, Wilsdorf needed physical proof that the watch could survive. So in July 1952, Tudor handed over 26 watches to the members of the British North Greenland expedition. These men spent 2 years enduring brutal environmental conditions. They faced relentless ice, wind, and temperatures that routinely plunged to 66 degrees below zero. The Tudor reference 7809 survived because of its structural defenses. Dedicated collectors sticking around, let's break down the exact historical specifications of the featured model. Introduced in 1952, this watch was directly issued to the British North Greenland expedition. The name itself is a technical map. Oyster stands for the waterproof Rolex-derived case, while Prince indicates the self-winding automatic movement inside. It measures in at 34 millimeters, featuring a steel monobloc case topped with an acrylic crystal. The clean white or silver dial prominently displays the vintage Tudor rose emblem, all powered by an automatic caliber built from a Fleurier movement blank. Today, the combination of these rugged physical traits and documented Arctic history pushes the reference 7809 well beyond its original price point, commanding a significant premium on the vintage collector market. Throughout the expedition, the explorers tracked the performance of their watches with strict scientific rigor, logging their daily accuracy against incoming BBC radio time signals. When the men finally returned home, Tudor took those handwritten logbooks and published the data straight into their marketing materials as scientific evidence. While most 50s watch ads leaned heavily into high society glamour, Tudor showcased working-class professionals. They put the watch on miners, deep-sea divers, and construction workers who judged a piece of steel purely on its ability to survive a shift. Since Tudor could not out-luxury Rolex, it decided to out-honest it. By marketing to people who actually needed a reliable instrument, they laid the groundwork for the modern tool watch category long before collectors ever cared about it. The real shadow over the brand didn't arrive in the 50s. It took several decades to take hold, long after Hans Wilsdorf's original marketing push. As quartz technology laid mechanical watches obsolete for telling time, wristwatches transitioned into high-end luxury status symbols. Suddenly, Tudor's strategy of stepping away from Rolex-associated parts turned into a massive liability. consumers began viewing Tudor as a lesser compromise next to the parent company. Demand cratered, forcing the brand to abandon the US market in 1996. But that 17-year exile became a crucial period of reinvention. Being cut off from the American market forced Tudor to figure out who it actually was without leaning on the crown. When the brand finally made its return in 2013, it led with the Black Bay, diving deep into its own distinct military and dive heritage. To complete this evolution, Tudor eventually stopped relying on outside movement blinks. They set up their own benches and began manufacturing fully independent in-house calibers. Tudor's journey proves that a company cannot survive purely on borrowed armor. So, I'm curious, has Tudor finally escaped Rolex's shadow, or will it always carry the label of the affordable Rolex? Let me know your take in the comments. And if this story earned it, hit subscribe so Crown and Patina can keep telling them. Until next time, keep winding.